Hi everyone, this is Luxtos, and today I'm bringing you yet another WeakAuras video guide. This time around, we're covering Shaman. We're gonna do all three specs: Elemental, Enhancement, and Restoration for Battle for Azeroth patch 8.0.1. So let's get started. Before we get into this, I want to make sure I thank every single one of you for commenting, liking, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. You guys have been showing an incredible amount of support even over on Twitch, and I'm really thankful for it. So, once that's out of the way, we can get to business. So first, I'm gonna cover a simple step. You're gonna hit enter/WA to open your WeakAuras add-on. If you don't have it, you need to install it. So once that's done, you can head over to this panel, and in the description below, you will find 6 links that will cover all 6 group of this WeakAuras. So we're simply gonna get importing. Copy WeakAura import string, simply click on it. So this is the Shaman rotation. You go into new, import, and you paste. Import. There you go. You have your Shaman rotation being loaded out. You're going to do the same for resources. New, import, paste, import. Utilities. So copy, new, import, paste, import. So we're simply going to go ahead and finish this for all 6 group. Import. This one has a lot of stuff. Shaman is a little more complex. Import. And import. Okay. So we're going to start with Elemental. You can track currently your Maelstrom, and I decided to add number because you guys requested for it. So I'm going to be updating my other WeakAuras to also reflect this change. I'm not tracking the number on the mana because I don't feel like it's that useful. You just want to get a good over-glance look at how many mana you have left so you can heal yourself. So only the Maelstrom is going to track the number that you're currently on. You can see, like every other WeakAura guide, your current utilities and defensive cooldown. Let's get into combat. We're going to press Flame Shock. Okay, so if you're new to this, what I tend to do is if an ability should be pressed, then it should probably glow to let you know that it's important to cast it. So I'm doing a simple rotation based on simple talents right now, so we're going to go over that in a couple of seconds. I just want to go over the interface real quick. So you have your cooldowns on the left. So you have Fire Elemental and Liquid Magma Totem. You have your interrupts on the right, Wind Shear, Lightning Surge Totem, and X. And you have some specific auras that are being tracked right now over on top. So that's pretty simple. Right now in the first row, we're tracking Elemental Blast. So I'm tracking Flame Shock, Earth Shock, Lava Burst, the first row, which is going to be Elemental Blast, and Exposed Element. Echo of Element is not going to track anything different other than it's going to give 2 charges to Lava Burst. And the second row is not being tracked in the rotation. The Master of Element buff is being tracked on top, and Totem Mastery is being tracked on top also. So I'm simply gonna pick something else just to show you. So Elemental Blast is a simple cooldown rotation. So you can press it, it goes on cooldown. Now it's letting me know I need to apply Flame Shock, I need to consume my Maelstrom with Earth Shock, and I need to press Lava Burst. Of course, you're gonna ask me, well, what about Earthquake? The issue with Earthquake and Chain Lightning and any AoE rotation cooldown is that they're situational, and there's no way to reliably track it, so it's going to be on your guest. This is going to be a simple single target helpful rotation. If you have multiple targets, you want to replace Earth Shock with Earthquake if there's enough. That's going to be the same thing for Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt, but these are not being tracked because they don't have any cooldown. Okay, let's switch the rotation a bit. So we're gonna track expose element once I'm out of cooldown and once it's off cooldown. Okay. Totem Mastery. Liquid Magma, that's good. This is good. And Ice Fury also. Okay, so Totem Mastery, it's simply being tracked up top. So if you press it, it lets you know how many times left it had to be up, so you know when to refresh it. As you can see, currently right now, Ice Fury is not glowing. The reason for it, even if you usually want to press it almost on cooldown, is, well, not on cooldown. It's going to be situational. Ice Fury is helpful for high movement fights, so you're usually going to pick it when a fight requires movement. So I'm not going to make this one glow. You can always make the change if you want to, but right now I feel like this is okay like that. So if a fight is requiring movement, you can press Ice Fury, and then it's going to let you know how much Flame Shock, how much Frost Shock, sorry, that you can put out. So I have 4 and I have 7 seconds left, so I might get to it. And there we go. They have been all consumed, and everything is working out. Okay. What next? Oh, so Liquid Magma is simply going to get tracked over here. Ancestral Guidance is simply going to get tracked at the bottom. If you press it, it's going to show up like every other single defensive. Unlimited Power is going to be tracked as a small buff over here. Stormkeeper and Ascendance are going to get tracked in your major cooldown. Okay, so you guys have requested this a lot, so I'm going to do some live some modification live. So for example, if you would like to have Ice Fury glow when it's off cooldown, because that's something you want to do, you can simply come over to Ice Fury in the rotation group, go to conditions. So conditions are going to be based around your trigger. My current trigger is tracking Ice Fury cooldown progress. So what I do right now is I track if it's on cooldown, true. So if it is on cooldown, then desaturate. So if it is on cooldown, it's going to show up gray. So I can add a condition on cooldown, false. So if it's not on cooldown, then glow, and make sure you put the checkbox. So if I go in combat, you can see that now Ice Fury is lighting up, and then I can press my Frost Shock, and Ice Fury is going to go back to being desaturated. So that's something nice. For my own use, I'm not going to do that because Ice Fury is very situational, and I recommend that you leave it that way, but now you know how to change it, which is going to be nice. That's pretty much all there is to Elemental. Storm Elemental is going to be tracked. Fire Elemental also as DPS cooldown. You're gonna see how long cooldown they have left and how long active they have left. It's gonna also work for Primal Elementalist. Okay, let's get to Enhancement. Enhancement is actually one of the most complex WeakAuras set I had to do because the spec is very whack-a-mole. So if something glows, you hit it, and it's a very complex priority system that you need to watch. So we're gonna go in combat, and I'm gonna explain it all to you. Okay, so we're gonna go with the cooldowns. They're very baseline. So we're gonna have Spirit Wolf and Ascendance if you're spec'd into Ascendance. You're gonna have your interrupts, which are the same as Elemental, and you're gonna have your utilities, which are the same except for Spirit Walk. I'm using a very default talent just to show you how things work. So right now it's telling me that I have 2 Rock Bitter, so I'm losing DPS by not pressing it. So right, you wouldn't be at max Maelstrom, so that's something that you need to watch for. And I don't have Flame Tongue weapon active currently, so I'm gonna go ahead and use Flame Tongue. I'm gonna use Storm Strike, and I'm gonna spend my Rock Bitter. Okay, I need to spend Storm Strike. Oh, I'm overcapped, so I need to do Lava Lash to dump some Maelstrom, Rock Bitter, dump into Storm Strike, reapply Flame Tongue, dump, build resource, dump into Storm Strike. When Storm Strike is on cooldown and you do need to dump, okay, I'm getting a shitload of proc right now. When it's on cooldown and you do need to dump, it's gonna light Lava Lash. And when a Storm Strike is not on cooldown, it's gonna let you know that you need to press it. It's gonna also track Stormbringer buff, letting you know that you have a free empowered Storm Strike. So that's pretty fucking good. The rotation is pretty straightforward, but I have a lot of conditions that are being triggered if to make you use the right dumping mechanism. So Enhancement is building resources, keeping uptime buff, and dumping over Maelstrom. If Storm Strike isn't available, if you don't have a proc, then you need to use Lava Lash over 40 to 50 Maelstrom, depending on the talent that you have. Actually, depending on if you have Fury of Air active. So right now I'm tracking that, and that's going to tell you how to dump your excess Maelstrom. If you're using Overcharge, your excess Maelstrom, other than Storm Strike, is going to go over to Lightning Bolt. So when Storm Strike and other things are taken care of, there you go. You can cast Lightning Bolt. So the way that Overcharge works is it puts a cooldown on Lightning Bolt, but makes its damage being increased by a lot, and it now consumes Maelstrom. So it consumes from 0 to 40. So instead of pressing Lava Lash, which costs 40, if Lightning Bolt is available, then you press it instead of Lava Lash. But Storm Strike is still a priority. So you're going to need to watch that. If you pick Hellstorm, then it tracks exactly the same as Flame Tongue Weapon. You just need to make sure that you look at it and track it up. So you do your normal rotation, try to dump, try to keep these refresh, and using your... because right now it's glowing because sometimes I proc hot end, so it's simply glowing, letting me know that it's not... You don't need to dump it, you actually need to use your proc. So Enhancement is very a lot more complex than other spec that I've done. So, but I think you guys are gonna like this one because it's gonna help out a lot on focusing on your actual rotation, letting you know what is a priority and what is not a priority. Okay, we're gonna track utility. So Feral Lunge, Windrush Totem, and all that good stuff is gonna get tracked as utility. We're going to track Fury of Air. So if you pick Fury of Air, it's going to let you know that you should probably toggle it on, because Fury of Air needs to be active pretty much all the time if you're using it. So it's going to let you know that it's on. I'm not making it glow when it's there because usually the thematic with my WeakAuras is if something glow, you need to press it. So if I don't have Fury of Air, it's going to glow. Pretty simple. Sundering is something that is a bit situational. It's going to depend on number tuning. So right now it is a priority on single target if you press it. So we're going to be tracking it in the utilities also. It's just not on my bar right now. So yeah, we're going to be tracking it as Fury of Air, and we're going to tweak these number if Sundering ever gets nerfed into not being a priority for single target. We're simply going to lower it in priority and not show it to be cast. Crashing Storm is not being tracked. Elemental Spirit, Earthen Spike, and Ascendant. So Earthen Spike, let's start with this one, is going to be tracked as a cooldown, but also as a specific, just to make sure, because I didn't have any more space in this row. So that's something new that I'm going to start doing. So if there is external rotational cooldown that could not be placed in the main rotation, but are simply things that you need to check for, I'm going to put them here. So what's happening right now is I'm tracking Earthen Spike. So it's telling me that the cooldown has 8 seconds to go. And it's going to let me know when I can press it again. So as soon as it's available, so now I should reapply these before, and I should then do Earthen Spike and unleash my Storm Strike and Stormbringer procs. There you go. So that's getting tracked. That's lovely. I'm also, we're going to wait for Earthen Spike cooldown to reset before I can switch talent. So Elemental Spirit. Elemental Spirit, the way it works is that's going to reduce the cooldown of your Feral Spirit. And Elemental Spirit, sorry, is going to cast 2 Elemental Wolf, which can be the same or they can be different. So if you go in combat and you press, it's going to track which one you get. So right now I got the Ice one and the Molten Weapon one. So these are going to affect your rotation. So if you get the fire one, you usually want to cast Sundering for it. So you might want to hold Sundering 1 or 2 seconds just to see if you get the correct Elemental Wolf, and then you can adjust your rotation based on that. Ascendance is going to be tracked as a DPS cooldown, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Earthen Shield is going to be also tracked, how many charge there is left. So that's pretty good. Lightning Shield is also going to be tracked. Landslide is going to light up Storm Strike if it procs, so to let you know that you need to use it and spend it. So Enhancement is a bit more complex, but it's going to be a bit more helpful. So it's going to let you know when to press certain things, because it's not it's very resources and cooldown dependent. So this class is a bit different from other class that I've done. Actually, specialization, sorry. Okay, we're going to move on to Restoration now, which is totally different than its two other specs. So right now, what I'm planning to do, and we're going to see if you guys like it or not, we're actually going to be able to change it, and I'm actually going to let you know how to do it yourself if you ever find this annoying. For a healing class, a healing specialization, what I'm maybe going to do is leave the rotation on all the time. If that's something that you guys want for all your classes, you can simply click the rotation, go into load, and make sure that it's checked and not in combat. Actually, nothing is checked. So this checkbox right here is going to toggle for every single one of these. So right now, nothing is checked. So it's going to load in combat and out of combat. But if I go for Flame Shock, it's going to load only in combat. So if I want Flame Shock to load out of combat, I can simply do this. If you want this to apply to the full group, you simply click here and make sure nothing is checked. So it's a cycle check. So you click once and go in combat, not in combat, and unchecked. So you want the unchecked one if you want for this to apply to all your rotational cooldown. The reason I'm showing them in combat for healer is simply because, first, it's annoying for my video because I have to keep flame shocking the target to have the healing cooldown show, and also because in situations that are not in raid, like for example arena and battleground, it's gonna happen a lot that you're gonna heal yourself without getting in combat, or actually just healing someone that is not in combat, which means that this interface would be hidden, which is something you don't want. So we're gonna go with this for now, and we're gonna see how you guys like it, and we're gonna tweak and adjust it over time. So for Restoration Shaman, let's get into it. I'm currently using these talent just so I can show you more different things. So we're tracking Riptide, of course. We're going to track the cooldown of it. And if you're spec into Echo of Elements, it's going to track both charges. And it's not going to desaturate until you're all out of charges. We're currently tracking Tidal Wave, so to let you know that you can cast multiple... You can cast 2 quick Healing Wave or Healing Surge. There you go. If you're using, instead of Downpour, for example, if you're using Flash Flood, then it's also going to track your Flash Flood after your Tidal Wave are expired. So it lets you know that you have another quick spell that you can cast. Right now, I'm using Unleash Life, so we're going to track Unleash Life. So it's letting you know it's active currently, so your next spell is going to be increased. There you go. Then it goes into a cooldown. Undulation, after this is out of cooldown. So Undulation is simply going to track whenever you cast 2 spells in a row. It's going to light up, letting you know that you can cast Healing Wave and Healing Surge with a huge bonus healing. A huge healing bonus. There you go. Torrent is not going to be tracked. It's simply going to show a gray icon. Earth Shield is going to be tracked, and it's going to work for... it's going to track up everybody in the raid. So if you put it on someone else, it's still going to track the charge, and it's going to make sure to track yours only. These are shown as utilities. These are shown as cooldowns. So if you have Ancestral Protection Totem or Earthen Wall, they're going to be right here. Since these are situational, they're not rotational abilities. Windrush Totem is going to be tracked here, and also Spirit Walker Grace. Cloudburst Totem now replace Healing Stream Totem, so if you select it, the icon is simply going to adapt and change. Downpour is also being tracked over here, so if I use Wellspring or if I use Downpour, so I can cast Healing Rain, and I can also cast Downpour, and these are going to be tracked. I could switch those to be out of combat also, but that's something we're going to figure out over time, depending on what you guys like. I need to test those out because I'm making them and I'm publishing them, and yeah, we can adapt and update over time. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So Healing Rain and Healing Stream Totem are simply going to get tracked over here. Same thing for Healing Tide, so it's going to get tracked. How long does it have left? And same thing for Earth Elemental and Spirit Link Totem. So those are all being tracked. If you have Echo, it's going to update all of the affected spell, and that's going to be hit. Restoration doesn't have a secondary resources, so I'm simply tracking mana, and I'm showing you how much you have left. So I'm showing the actual number compared to other spec, which are not using mana as a priority resources. So this is going to be it for Shaman. I'm going to tell you what I plan on doing next in this video. So my next one is going to be Paladin. The next one is going to be Demon Hunter. And my next one is going to be Warrior. After that, it's all up to randomness. I'm just going to do what I feel like doing. I'm going to try to complete these before BFA hits, but I cannot guarantee it. But I will guarantee and promise that every single class and every single spec will be made. So again, thanks everybody for the support. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can like this video, and you can like my other WeakAuras video to show your appreciation and support. And you can comment in the section below. Which class are you most excited to see the next WeakAuras build for? Which one do you want the most? Which class do you plan on maining for BFA? Write it down in the comment below, and that's gonna be a nice topic of discussion, and it's gonna probably help me figure out which one I should do next. If you guys want to see me on Twitch do these live and ask questions and join the community, you can go to twitch.tv/luxdose and you can come see me do these live. We're actually having a lot of fun chatting with the community and helping each other out, figuring this stuff out. So that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you look forward to the next video. So this is going to be it for me, guys. Good luck in BFA.